everybody. My name is Nick. I'm with Melody Minds, and today I'm here with...
Galeer.
Your name?
On spot. Shane.
All right. And together you are?
Galeer.
All right, anyway. So, first question I want to ask. What is the significance behind the name Galeer? You said that it was a nickname given to you in high school. Do you have any more context for that?
Yeah. So, me and my friends used to have like really stupid nicknames for each other. My name's Shane. People called me Sean a lot, and then people called me Shong with a G on the end, and then people called me Shongateer, and then it was like the three Shongateers. It's like fucking stupid.
An evolution.
And then someone called me Sean Galeer one day, and so I made that my name on Instagram, and then there was like an Instagram friend that I had met in real life, and when I met her in person, she was like, "Nice to finally meet you, Mr. Galeer." And then I did the Mr. Galeer for a little bit, and then when I started writing music, I was like, I don't know what to do, and I don't want to use like my real name, and so I used Galeer. And then as it turns out, Galeer is an Estonian term for, I believe, galley, or like, it's some kind of ship, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's where the boat comes into play, like the logo. I'm pretty sure that's how that happened.
Like, I did look up Galeer, because I did notice you mentioned it was an Estonian term, and I couldn't find anything on it. I thought it was like some sort of slang or something like that.
Yeah, no, I remember looking it up, and I thought it said boat. Maybe it's not boat. I don't know.
No, okay.
We're too far gone now. So
okay.
We're not changing anything.
Yeah. So, what can we expect for Galeer in the future? The evolution of your sound regarding new projects, singles.
Yeah. Well, hopefully more shows, because
No doubt.
the nature of the band has just constantly shifted between full band and solo projects, and now it's like finally starting to like take shape. So in terms of like, you know, being live, definitely like a live a full band type deal. And I guess just in terms of like musically, like I started Galeer in like 2018 when I was like in the peak of like my emo era, and so and I feel like it's kind of evident, maybe it isn't, but now I like listen to a lot more like pop and rap and like R&B and soul, so like I very like mildly will like incorporate some of that into the new stuff, but it still kind of has like emo roots, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it. So that's kind of the direction it's going, for sure.
You definitely have a lot more like harmonizing. You definitely have a lot more breakdowns and a lot more influences going through. You can definitely hear them like seeping through, especially on the latest single. Yeah, dude.
And I love when I make a song when I just layer way too many like harmonies on it, and it sounds like it's like an angelic choir. Sometimes it doesn't sound good, but like people like have come up to me and told me like that's the Galeer trademark, is just like way too many harmonies.
Absolutely.
I fuck with it. I think
great Galeer sound.
Yeah.
You recently came out with Income and Assets, which packs a classic emotional punch like all of your previous songs. But what is the significance with this song? Are there any particular personal experiences that led to this release?
So Income and Assets is kind of like it's kind of just like about constantly moving. So like I wrote it when I was working like a shitty 9-to-5 job, and you know, coming to terms with the fact that this might be like the rest of my life. But I wrote that song 4 years ago, and so for the last like 4 years I've constantly been moving, trying to find what I like, you know, trying to settle into a profession or a job that I like, also while moving where I'm living, and also like moving through friendships and relationships and stuff like that. So it's kind of just like about like not being able to sit still and like trying to cope with that. And then it's also kind of like about the support system and how people kind of come and go, and it's like, you know, kind of like as we get older, people will take certain things personally, and it's nothing personal and things like that, and then like it also kind of has to do with like latching on to certain people, and so it's like a hodgepodge of like different things, but it was initially written as kind of like a I'm constantly moving, and I don't know how to handle it.
Yeah, big growth.
And I still don't.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
It's really
4
tough
years
out
later.
here. What is the significance of Fitchburg's local radio station? For you, how did that impact your music selection, and how did it influence you as a musician? Wow. Jeez.
It's so funny because I almost didn't join like the radio station, and I was just really like apprehensive to it because I was like, this isn't for me, and then I did it, and then that's kind of what like shoehorned me into the music scene there, because everyone that does radio, almost like 9 times out of 10 is like a DIY kid.
Yeah.
Just because they love having that like space to do that.
Yeah.
And that's how I got introduced to like basement shows and things like that. What was the question?
How did it impact you as an artist?
Oh, yeah, okay. I really like didn't fit into that crowd initially. Like, I have a video of my very first basement show. It was the first one I ever been to and the first one I ever played. And I really just like looked like I stuck out like a sore thumb. Like I don't know, I was, and I really didn't know. It was like a last minute show, and I didn't know what I was doing there. But the more I started going, the more I started kind of like taking it in and really like understanding like kind of the culture around like DIY and things like that. And so I think less musically, definitely being exposed to the music like helped kind of shape me, but more than that, I think just like the people around it kind of just shaped like I don't know, just like what to expect out of it, and like, you know, the different kinds of people you'll meet and like things like that.
I guess I'm gonna follow up that question with what do you think was the best song you ever played on the radio station while you were at Fitchburg?
Okay, like me personally, one that I put on.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's an interesting one. I'm not gonna default. I put my own shit on the radio at one point, but I'm not gonna default to that because that's shitty.
You can.
No. It's been so long. I don't know. I used to love. This is kind of like a deep cut, but I used to love playing like EDM and dubstep and like I would like plot out the songs on GarageBand and like fade the ones that like go into each other like really well, and I would just do like an hour-long mix. So like there's like no real significance behind it except for the fact that I was just like, I feel like a DJ. But yeah, I'd say that's like what I think of the most, and I still do that sometimes now, but just for myself. Like I just play it by myself.
Did you have to like censor all the songs yourself as well? Or yeah.
And sometimes if you'd forget to censor something, you'd have to like mute it on the spot.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'd forget. Sorry to the FCC. I don't know if we caught a fine for that. Sorry, Fitchburg State. Never know.
It's their loss.
Yeah.
Their problem. Now you described your song "Casket" once to, I think, me. I'm not sure if
probably.
It was me.
You were there when I wrote it. So probably. It was like around that time.
Yeah, probably. Where did that come from in your personal life that led you to writing that, and what was the process behind recording it?
So I wrote it. I write a lot of songs about like death, and I wrote it when a close friend of mine's mom died. We were really close with. And it was just kind of like putting like, I won't even say a positive spin. The song just sounds really upbeat and like happy. Yeah. But it's not a happy song. No. It's literally about, you know, going to a funeral. Yeah. So again, I just wanted something that sounded really like happy and like hopeful, but then you like listen to it and it's like, oh, this is not that. And, then the recording process of it was, it was for a music tech class that I was in, and our final assignment was to make a song. Okay. So I used it as an excuse to put everything into it, and it was a GarageBand project, and that's what you hear on the radio. So, or on the, not on the radio, on the airwaves, the internet.
So actually, I'm gonna bring this in. What is your favorite DAW to use? I wanna know right now. Is it GarageBand? It's GarageBand.
And I take a lot of pride. I'm not gonna like stroke my ego because I don't do that shit. But I take a lot of pride in my ability to like make a song and show it to someone, and they're like, "Oh, where'd you like record this?" And I was like, "My fucking house, bro." Miss me with that. But I like GarageBand. I've like played around with Pro Tools. I know Logic more or less is like an extension of GarageBand. I never really touched it that much, so I still use GarageBand. Income and Assets was made in a studio, but for the most part, I'm like recording stuff on my own and then like sending it out to get like mixed and mastered.
Sick.
Like that.
Sick. One question I want to ask you was 9 to 5. In the beginning, did you record yourself leaving your job?
I recorded
your job.
It's so cringe. I hate it. Like,
I was so like confident in that one, and it was like it's literally it was my last day at my job before I started my like capstone internship at school, and I was kind of like, this is kind of the next step, and then I'm gonna immediately find a job that I like, and so like the lyrics is fucking no more 9 to 5s. What the fuck are you talking about? I haven't stopped working 9 to 5 since I made that song.
Yeah.
It never ended. I wish it did.
know?
Yeah, you hear me like. I was like, I turned on my phone and I was like, oh, this is going to be so fucking cool. And I was like, all right, guys, have a good one. See ya. And then you hear me getting in my car, turning on the car. It's a good song and it's a good, like, opener.
Yeah.
But when you ask me a question like that, it's so bad.
It's just like
I appreciate the.
It's the thanks at the end. It's really what
Thanks.
you say. I just hear the
Thanks.
thanks at the end.
Yeah.
And I was just like, did he record himself doing this?
I sure fucking did.
Oh
though.
my god, that is great. That
Yep.
is great. So this is the first time Galeer, the band specifically, has performed in 4 years. Could you go 5 years? I'm not counting correctly. How was getting the band back together after so much time?
Dude, COVID fucked that shit up. It was so bad. We were like on our way to playing more shows, and then we got locked inside of our houses, and then I was like, all right, Galeer's gonna be a solo thing. It's too fucking hard to get people together by no fault of anybody's. And then I did it solo for 3 years, and then I was like, man, I played with a show with a backing track, and I was like, man, this shit sucks. Like, I want to... Well, because then when I started playing in Bicycle Inn, I was like, wow, this is, like, really fun to, like, share a stage with people. And I was like, it's just, like, I was playing up there with the backing track, and I was like, this isn't it. Like, and, like, no disrespect to people that do backing tracks. I think if it were a different genre, maybe it would work. But for what I'm doing, I feel like I'm not personally, like, into it. So,
Galeer the rapper, maybe.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah.
So... It's one of those things where, like, I feel good about it now, and, like, we have a good thing going, so it's just been a back and forth for the last 5 years, and just kind of, like, I realize that these things are going to take time, and they're not going to fucking happen overnight, so, yeah.
What's the significance of SpongeBob SquarePants to Galeer?
You're talking about Ocean Man?
Yeah.
Oh, another banger. I want that song off streaming so bad. We were into it like 4 years ago because someone on Twitter was like, when's Galeer going to cover Ocean Man? And then they made a Twitter profile, and it was like, has Galeer covered Ocean Man yet? And every day they would post, no. And it went to like day, like, I think it only went 60 days before I was like, let's fucking just like, because we weren't doing anything. So I had them all like send me their parts, and then Ocean Man is out, and that's it.
So why is Luigi on Sunday?
Everything relates to a story. I was really high one night, probably 4 or 5 years ago, and I wanted one of those like Luigi Italian ices, and I called it a Luigi Sunday, and then for some reason we just started being like, Happy Luigi Sunday, and so the lore behind it is every day is Luigi Sunday, except when it's actually Sunday. That's canonic Luigi Sunday.
Okay.
And that is all there is to that. The song doesn't mean anything. It's an instrumental song.
Write it down.
Write
it down. Are there any specific house venues that you had an impact on you, or had any significance on you during your time at Fitchburg?
Congress. That was like the house. Rip Congress. COVID killed it.
Oh.
Another thing that COVID killed. I loved Congress. I loved going there. Met a lot of cool bands there. Made a lot of friends there. Still talk to a lot of them. That was the only thing that Fitchburg like had locally. But like, I still like meet people that stay that are like, yeah, I've heard of it. And but that was mainly where we went. There's like nothing down here for basements.
That's true.
I mean,
Fire
maybe.
hazard.
We haven't. It's true.
Yeah.
We haven't found them yet, but
Well,
we'll get there.
You got to be in like the rural areas.
Yeah, exactly.
So you mentioned bicycling. I heard they broke your hand during the whole Galeer band thing going.
So I said I'm gonna go and focus on Galeer. They didn't like it, and
So it's true.
I guess they broke. I don't remember it.
So they okay.
Which gives me more reason to believe that it was them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know who you are. I love the Bike Boys. It was very bad timing because sorry, just gotta make sure. It was very bad timing, but I left to start doing Galeer and kind of just focus my time a little bit more, and then we had a show coming up in February, and literally a week before it, I slipped on ice and broke my hand. I broke my wrist. And I was like, well, fuck, I can't play.
Yeah.
I can't have... Like, it was too short of a time period to, like, have someone fill in and on, like, guitar or anything like that. So, it is what it is.
Sure.
But, yeah. I cherish my time with bike. Definitely, like, made me more confident as a performer.
Cool. Musical time capsule. 5 songs that would describe your musical journey.
I wasn't going to include them in this, but Future by Paramore is definitely one. Jeff Rosenstock's got to be in there. I'm going to say... I can't remember half the names of the songs. I'm sorry, Jeff. Sorry, Papa Jeff. All right, well, I'll give another one. Bored by the Obsessives. Chicago by Charlie Berg. Planet Luxury by Jeff Rosenstock. And then... Oh, man. Hit me with the zingers. Little Guitars by Van Halen.
Okay. That's a good one.
That was the first one that came to my mind. It must have some significance.
I had some silly ones, but I don't even know if I should ask you these. I'll ask you these after the interview.
Yeah, I mean, also, if we want to film after this, too, just because I got to get in there.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think that'd be better because fucking my shit can run out.
Yeah,
do you want to figure out your
I'm
shit?
good.
I'm okay with coming back out, too, if you want to.
Or are we done?
If you want to outro it or whatever. But it's
Can we get a
totally-
happy Luigi Sunday from the both of you?
All right, ready? On the count of 3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
I can't speak my mind without feeling like a burden, but I'd probably be lost without you. I just need to let go, but I'll continue to go.
Happy Luigi Sunday!